I was transported to a primitive, matriarchal society where men are considered inferior to women. Here, men are seen as useless trash who only know how to eat. But because I can't bear children, the matriarch banished me from the tribe. She said that men who can only pick berries are the most worthless kind of trash. But when I used vines to pull the plumpest fish from the river, the way all the women looked at me changed. While they were still fighting over a few unripe berries, I had already fed the men cooked fish. And this was all because I have something they'll never understand, the wisdom of 5,000 years of civilization in my mind. At that moment, inside a damp cave, the matriarch glared at me with disgust. "Yi Yan, get out of this tribe." She sat on a rock in the center, wearing a skirt made of grass and animal hide. I clenched my fists. Behind me stood more than 10 male tribesmen. The cave was split into two factions. One was the female members of the tribe with Wumuya. The hide skirts they wore were clearly of better quality. And then there was the other faction. The male tribesmen standing behind me. They only had hemp ropes tied around their waists. Some used a single leaf for cover, while others were completely naked. The men shivered as they looked at Wumuya's cold expression. They were on the verge of tears. "Yi Yan, every time you go hunting, you come back with nothing. You useless men can't even weave. You can't bear children, and I've forbidden you from cultivating. And yet, one or two of you are still cultivating day in and day out. Keeping the tribe from getting food. If you can't even gather food, then you're completely useless. Get out." Wumuya's tone was ice cold, and the surrounding women all stared at us with contempt. They muttered words of disgust and scorn. My eyes flickered. I've been transported to this tribal era of a primitive age. In this world, women are the rulers. It's a matriarchal society. Women can create life, they can weave skirts from animal hides and grass. And they can raise children. They're considered supreme beings. And men? They're nothing more than slightly stronger monkeys. But, I clenched my fists even tighter. Because I'm a transmigrator, I can see the flaws of this matriarchal society more clearly. Technology? Non-existent. Weapons? Primitive. Livelihood? They're starving most of the time. They live on tree bark and berries. Cooked meat from a beast is nothing but a fantasy. If there's any benefit to this matriarchal world, it's probably that the women here are incredibly well built, with fair skin and beautiful features. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have awakened the patriarchal clan building system. Issuing the main quest for the host now, with yourself at the center. Establish a powerful patriarchal clan and society. Awakening modules. Contribution points and exchange shop. As long as the host does things that benefit the construction of a patriarchal tribe, you can unlock achievements and earn exchange points. And those exchange points can be used in the built-in shop to exchange for anything the host can imagine, becoming a powerful foundation on your path to building a patriarchal society. The moment the electronic voice sounded in my head, the corners of my mouth curled up slightly. The system is finally here, but it's already impossible for me to stay in this tribe. In this world, people can cultivate. The reason the women of the tribe are so incredibly beautiful, mostly because their training makes their vital energy overflow. Just the clan leader, Wumuya, alone, could wipe the floor with all dozen of his men. As for why we men can't do the same, the current cultivation method was created entirely based on the female anatomy. If a man rashly tries to cultivate it, there's an extremely high chance his body will just explode. The efficiency is also dozens of times worse. But now that I've awakened the system, it's time to show these women what a real man is. Clan leader, it's the peak of the hot season right now. There aren't even any berries or edible wild plants outside. Could you please show some mercy? Don't drive Yi Yan away. At least wait until the weather isn't so hot. Just as a smirk formed on my face and I was about to argue with Wumuya, from among the women, a girl about my age, maybe 18, with a beast bone in her hair, cried out anxiously. She was lively and pretty, and her bright eyes were welling up with tears. No, men deserve to be punished. This is not up for discussion. Wumu Z, stand down. Wumuya stared coldly at Wumu Z, her gaze so icy it felt like it could cut you. Looking at Wumu Z, I felt a little moved. Wumu Z, my clan sister who grew up with me. Unlike the other women in the clan who treat me like a monkey, she genuinely respects me as her big brother. Just as Wumu Z was anxiously about to say something more. Enough. Wumuya, you just want me to leave, don't you? Why make things difficult for a young girl like Wumu Z? I'll take them and leave the tribe. Wumuya, I'm telling you. I will take the men of this clan and build a new tribe. We'll live lives 1,000, 10,000 times better than under the rule of you women. Wumu ya, when that time comes, I'll be waiting for you to come crying and begging to me." My eyes flashed as I shouted at Wumu ya. After hearing this, Wumu ya suddenly started laughing. Her body trembled, her slender, curvaceous figure swaying alluringly. Her laughter was ice cold, as if she just heard the greatest joke in the world. "Yi Yan, you stinking male monkey. How dare you speak to the clan leader like that?" Some of the women yelled angrily. Others just started laughing. "He can't even weave cloth. Can't build a house, can't even take care of children. A good-for-nothing male monkey shamelessly claims he'll build a tribe 1,000 times better than ours? Who'd believe that? Yi Yan, stop talking, just get on your knees and beg the clan leader for mercy. Even if we have to work like beasts of burden, we have to stay in the tribe. Leaving the tribe now is just asking to die." The men behind me, all dark-skinned and so skinny you could see their ribs, sighed and tugged at my arm. Of course, they didn't believe me. In their eyes, they were just useless men, left to be beaten, scolded, and abandoned by the women. "Let's go. These women don't understand. From now on, you will all listen to me. I, Yi Yan, will make sure you all live well. Who is willing to come with me?" I waved my hand, looking at the dozen or so dark-skinned, emaciated men in front of me. They all turned a deaf ear. They just thought I was crazy, and one by one, they knelt down and kowtowed to Wumu ya. Even if it means degrading themselves to animals, they'll shamelessly insist on staying in the tribe. Only 3 people were unwilling to continue living so humbly. 2 of the slightly older male tribe members. And a tribesman about my age. They walked out of the cave, and stood by my side. "Even if we have to starve and freeze out here, we refuse to be treated like slaves anymore. We're leaving." Wasn't that they believed me, but they were simply outraged by Wumu ya's ruthless actions. The rest of the kneeling tribe members looked at them with a hint of pity in their eyes. Choosing to leave at a time like this is basically a death sentence. I didn't linger and left the cave with my fellow tribesmen. Shortly after we left, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and saw it was Wumu Zi. She didn't say anything. Her eyes were misty as she grabbed my hand and stuffed some berries into it. Looking at the 2 or 3 unripe berries, I sighed. There are rarely any berries left over after they're distributed in our matriarchal society. She must have secretly saved these for herself. I was so touched I didn't know what to say for a moment. "Yi Yan, just hang in there for a while. I'll bring you berries." Wumu Zi looked at me, her face full of concern. I raised my hand, patted her on the head, and gave her a confident smile. "Don't worry, I will definitely come back." The look on Wumu Zi's face was so sad, it looked like she was about to cry. "Brother Yi Yan, you can do it. I have to go. Goodbye." She wiped away her tears, sobbing. Fighting back tears, she said her goodbyes and left. I watched her as she walked away, a relieved smile crossing my face. Wumu Zi has so much faith in me. I can't let her down. I turned to look into the distance, and I was instantly stunned by the sight before my eyes. Holy crap, what do they mean, being abandoned is a death sentence? There's no rain outside the tribe. It's a land of opportunity. Right in front of me are herds of plump, galloping antelopes. A massive beehive practically dripping with honey, and giant fruits hanging high in the trees. These are all resources the matriarchal clan can't get, but that I can easily obtain. What are we going to do? If we keep on like this, we're really going to die. Do we have to go find another tribe to take us in? Aren't all the tribes the same these days? They call us monkeys, not even worthy of being compared to women. But even so, I refuse to go back and be treated like a slave by Wumu ya. We are men, not slaves. On the primitive savannah, the 3 tribesmen lamented, their eyes filled with despair. Meanwhile, I was already busy in the distance, running to the trees to pull down vines. Then running to the mud pits to dig, getting covered in muck. But I didn't stop for a second. Right now, I was by the river, twisting the vines together, strand by strand. I was making a fishing net. The river was about waist deep, and the fish inside were swimming freely. Because the matriarchal clan's tool technology is extremely primitive, they have no way to catch the fish in the river. With no natural predators, the fish in the river grew to enormous sizes. They were delicious, and anyone who got ridiculously lucky and managed to catch one. The nearby tribes would be so jealous they'd trade 3 of their men for it. And right now, I'm going to make a fishing net to catch some big fish and solve our immediate crisis. Yi Yan, what are you doing? Have you decided which tribe you're going to join? A tribesman asked as he walked over. He looked at me, confused. Though he was also dark and lean, his eyes were clear and strong. It was Umuha, one of the strongest young men in the tribe. We're on good terms. Umuha, come help me. I'm going to catch the fish in this river and eat them. I kept my head down, weaving the vines bit by bit into a net. The mesh was just the right size to catch the river fish. Catch fish? Umuha looked at me in complete disbelief. Yi Yan, you've really lost your mind. We've been watching you mess around with that stuff for a while now. Everyone thinks you've gone crazy. I'm the only one who bothered to come talk to you, and you tell me you're going fishing? Yi Yan, you really are crazy. Those fish live in the water. Not only are they incredibly fast, but they're so slippery you can't even grab them, and I only know that because I put in a ton of effort. Chasing one all afternoon and just barely managed to touch it. I bet you that besides me, no one in our entire tribe, or even in any of the nearby tribes, has ever even touched a fish. I crouched by the riverbank, feeling utterly exasperated. No one was helping. Weaving this net was taking forever, and on top of that, I had to listen to this chatterbox Umuha rambling on and on. Umuha, let me ask you something. With a friendship like ours, have I ever lied to you? Either help me or get out of the way, I said, wiping the sweat from my brow. Umuha's face was a mask of conflict. Did he believe I could catch fish? Not one bit. Fish were a delicacy that even our chief had probably never tasted. But then he saw the serious look on my face. We had always gotten along well, and when I said I'd never lied to him, it was true. Every time we went hunting, if I said there were berries or wild vegetables somewhere, there really were. The more he thought about it, the more confused he got. Finally, he just made up his mind. He plopped down next to me. It doesn't matter if we catch any fish or not. We're buddies, after all. Helping you out this once is no big deal, Umuha said with a dejected look on his face. I didn't answer. I just shoved one end of the vine at him to hold steady while I worked like crazy on the other end. Sky was turning yellow. We were running out of time. With Umuha's help, I was weaving the net twice as fast. From a distance, the other men of the tribe watched us, sighing in dismay. Yi Yan has really lost it. What is that weird thing he's making? What's the point of weaving vines together like that? It's full of holes. It's a complete waste of energy. They just assumed I'd gone mad because I couldn't accept being exiled. Little did they know, I was feeling better and more focused by the minute. By the time the sun had dropped a little lower in the sky, it was finally finished. I let out a triumphant shout. A square fishing net, 2 men tall and 2 men wide, lay spread out before me. Heavy stones are attached to the 4 corners, with a vine running out from the center of the net. You just cast it into the river, and once the stones sink to the bottom, you pull the central vine to haul in the net. I gave the net a satisfying flick. It's definitely sturdy and durable. It should last for dozens of uses, no problem. And with that, it's done? I was wondering what you were making. You spent all that time weaving just to make a straw mat for sleeping? Umuha stared blankly at the thing I called a net, having no idea what it was for. What's the rush? Just you wait and see. I just smiled, folded up the fishing net, and cradled it in my arms. I walked over to the riverbank and, with a powerful heave, cast it out. Pulled by the heavy stones, the net opened up perfectly and sank to the riverbed with a trail of bubbles. And so I stood there by the river, holding the vine used to pull in the net. What are you doing? That straw mat you worked so hard on. Why did you just throw it in the river? A shout came from beside me. Umuha had watched me throw the thing into the water, and he was furious. His face was red and he pointed at me, absolutely indignant. You're really insane. You really are a madman. I never should have helped you with this. Umuha's face was ashen as he watched the bubbles rising from where the net had sunk to the bottom. All that hard work. How could you just throw it in the river? We could have at least used it to sleep on. Stop your endless babbling. Now hurry up and help me. I sighed in exasperation. I kept tugging on the vine in my hand. The net had already sunk to the bottom. Judging by the change in weight as I pulled, we've got something. I hate you, Umuha muttered darkly as he came over to help me pull the rope. Since he'd promised to help, he had no choice. He had to see it through to the end. He was staring daggers at me. His eyes were filled with rage. He was probably planning to throw me in the river the moment I wasn't looking. With both of us pulling with all our might, the fishing net was finally dragged ashore. I walked over to check it out. It was just as I had expected. After the heavy stones hit the water, they tangled up, trapping the fish securely inside the net. I crouched in front of the net and took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. The moment I opened the net, a huge, plump fish leapt out and slapped me right across the face. I couldn't dodge in time and fell right on my butt. Wiping the slime off my face, I opened my eyes and looked. There were 4 big fish and 8 small ones. The big ones were as long as my forearm and as thick as a bowl, while the small ones were the size of my open hand. They were all still flopping around, with their white bellies and black backs. Perfectly fresh, a smile crept across my face. And there we have it. Congratulations, host, you have made your first contribution to the patrilineal clan. Unlocking Fishing Master Achievement. Gained 20 contribution points for this fishing action. Gained 5 contribution points. The system notification echoed in my mind. I patted the mud off my butt and stood up. This is a perfect start. What is this? Wumuha's voice came from behind me. He was staring at the big fish flopping around in the net. He looked completely stunned. I said casually, but fish are only supposed to be in the water. How did they get on the shore? Wumuha scratched his head in a daze, his brain clearly unable to process it all. Because I'm the one who caught them, of course. But how did you catch them? With this, I said, pointing to the fishing net. With this grass mat? This is called a fishing net? You used a fish mat to catch grass? I was completely speechless. Wumuha had never seen a fish on land before. His walnut-sized brain just completely shut down. I tossed a big fish from the net right at him, so he could see for himself that catching a fish wasn't some impossible dream. It was a reality that was happening right now. Wumuha caught the fish, cradling it in his arms. He had a blank look on his face, until the slimy, fishy goo got on his skin. And when the thing in his arms started thrashing around wildly, feeling just like the fish he once spent an entire afternoon chasing. Wumuha, lost it, ha ha ha, we really caught a fish. This is a fish, it's really a fish. Yi Yan, you weren't crazy after all. What you said was actually true. You really are a great one. Wumuha ran around excitedly, shouting that I was a Tianj. In the distance, his yelling carried over to the male members of the tribe, who were more than 100 meters away. There goes another one. I thought Wumuha was a pretty sharp kid. How come he goes crazy the second he hangs out with Yi Yan? Don't tell me his brand of crazy is contagious. The two of them just stared at each other. But one of them, who had sharp eyes, squinted to look in our direction. Looks like Wumuha and Yi Yan got something down by the river. You don't think it's fish, do you? As soon as he said that, the other guy gulped. The food they usually got was a lot less than what the women of the tribe received, and they still had to do hard labor like picking berries and digging for wild vegetables. Now that they'd been kicked out, they hadn't eaten for the better part of the day. Just hearing the word fish made their mouths water with hunger. You've gotta be kidding. Fish are the rarest things around. Even the chiefs of our tribes barely ever get to eat them. As for guys like us, we've never even seen one. And out of everyone I know, not a single person knows how to fish. And you think Yi Yan can? The man said with a scoff. Besides, let's just say for argument's sake, even if it's not fish, even if they really did manage to get some food, we didn't help at all. How can we just take their food? It's against the rules, the other man sighed. That's true. I mean, if they caught it and were willing to share, that would be one thing. But since we didn't help, how could we take what's theirs? Just as the two were sighing and about to gather some twigs and branches to get through the night, a figure suddenly appeared in the distance, walking toward them carrying something. They looked closer and saw it was Wumuha. He was holding something strung together on a vine. There was one on each side, and they were still flopping around. It's long. It looks so much like a damn fish. The two of them gulped. Could it be? Yi Yan caught fish. He pulled out several of them. He sent me over to give each of you a fish. But this fish isn't free. Yi Yan told me, if you eat this fish, you have to follow his orders and acknowledge him as your leader. Wumuha walked up to the tribesmen, chuckling. Wumu Li, this fish is from Yi Yan for you guys. He said, if you want this fish, you have to recognize him as the boss and pledge your allegiance to him. Yi Yan said he's going to build a tribe that's much, much stronger than Wumu Ya's. As dusk fell, Wumu Ha approached the two of them with a wide grin. The one with the sharp eyes was Wumu Li, and the other was Wumu La. Seeing the big, flopping fish on the vine Wumu Ha was holding, which was threaded through its mouth and gills, the two of them were stunned. They stared wide-eyed, craning their necks. Their stomachs rumbled, and drool trickled down the corners of their mouths. Is this really a fish? Caught from the river? How is that possible? Wumu Li's eyes went wide, his heart filled with disbelief. He's the one who caught it, don't you worry. Wumu Ha laughed heartily with his hands on his hips. So, do you want it or not? Even our chief has probably never eaten something like this. A small fish can be traded for 3 men. Not to mention this one is as long as a forearm. A real whopper, for sure. But, there's a condition. If you want this fish, you have to acknowledge my big brother Yi Yan as your chief. Wumu Ha puffed out his chest, lifting his chin smugly, and dangled the 2 fish in front of them. Their eyes immediately widened, but Wumu La forcefully suppressed his desire. Ignoring his rumbling stomach, he said, Wumu Ha, we can't take this fish. I don't believe for a second that Yi Yan caught this himself. You have to prove to us that this fish isn't something bad. What if it's a bad fish you found with poisonous bugs in it? If we eat it, we'll all be done for. As soon as he said this, Wumu Li, who had been nearly mesmerized by the large fish, snapped back to his senses. That's right, they had never even heard of fishing before. Years of instinct for avoiding danger in the wild told them this fish was not to be eaten. You guys, you're not even going to eat this? Fine, then I'll go ask Yi Yan. Wumu Ha scratched his head. He thought these 2 were just making things difficult for no reason. 2 huge fish, as thick as an arm. Even if they were dead and rotting, people would be fighting over them, but these guys had to act all reserved. I'm speechless. Then, Wumu Ha led the 2 of them towards the river where I was. At that moment, I had just cast the net again. I was pulling up the heavy net. I opened it up and, hey, another full haul, 3 big fish and 6 small ones. The big ones were still as long as a forearm and as thick as a bowl. Ding! Congratulations, host, for completing another fishing action. You have gained 5 contribution points. And Unuli and Unula were standing not far away, witnessing the entire scene of me pulling the fish out of the river. The urge they had just a moment ago to scold me for messing around instantly vanished. Their worldview, just like Umuha's before them, shattered in an instant. A single small fish is worth 3 of them. How could that be possible? Oh my god, Umula's face burned with shame. He had just asked if the fish were spoiled, and then this person goes and catches several more right in front of his eyes. Right now, all the 2 of them wanted to do was drop to their knees beside me and pledge their allegiance, if they could. They even wished they could go back in time and slap themselves for not immediately grabbing the fish and devouring it. They'd already been exiled from the tribe. What was all that posturing for? Why were they so slow to act? Turned my head, looking calm and unconcerned. So, did they agree? I looked at Umuha. I'd just sent him to win over Unuli and Unula with the fish. But now, not only had they not taken the fish, they were both wearing expressions like they'd just eaten crap. What's going on? Umuha scratched his head. They didn't want to take the fish. They thought you didn't come by it honestly. They thought they were poisonous fish, with bad worms in them. What? I let out a strange cry. Don't you just get fish from the river? How can there be good ones and bad ones? This bunch of starving beggars. How can they be so picky? I just caught these fish right here. Look, they're still fresh. What's the problem, huh? You think the fish I'm giving you are too small? Then you don't have to take them at all. Go pick some berries to eat. I raised an eyebrow at Unuli and Unula. The 2 of them immediately broke into obsequious smiles. No, wait, Yi Yan. No, Chief Yi Yan. From now on, you are our chief. We'll listen to everything you say. We were wrong to think you were a lunatic before. We apologize. From now on, no matter what you do, we will support you, 100%. Isn't that right, Unuli? Right, yes, yes, yes. Whatever the chief says, we'll do. If the chief tells us to go east, we will absolutely not go west. Unuli and Unula were beaming. All their reservations and sense of danger were thrown to the wind. After all, I was the one who could get fish. Fish was something that even the chiefs of the nearby tribes had probably never seen. A single small fish was worth 3 of them. Why even bring up dignity or pride? Sucking up was the only thing that mattered now. Off to the side, Umuha watched the 2 of them completely let themselves go and couldn't help but marvel. So it's true, you really can do whatever you want. Haha, and you dared to doubt me? You don't get to eat the big fish. Here, you can have these 2 little fish. I said, looking at Unuli and Unula with my head held high. I tossed them 2 of the smaller fish for their dinner. The 2 of them stared, drooling, at the large, forearm-length ones. Then they looked down at the palm-sized fish in their hands and sighed inwardly. But they didn't dare say a word. Compared to the old days of starving more often than not, a small fish was better than no fish. They hadn't helped at all and were still getting to eat. They should have been deeply grateful to me for that. Now, the four of us were sitting on the rocks by the river. Night had fallen. The shimmering river lapped against the shore, carrying with it the smell of salt and fish. Holding the fish I'd just caught, I realized an awkward truth. It's raw. How are we supposed to eat it? Things like fish and meat taste so much better when they're cooked over a fire. Just then, Umuha couldn't hold back any longer. He grabbed a big fish and was about to tear into it raw. Umuli and Umula were about to do the same. I quickly stopped them. Wait, how can you eat it raw? We have to cook it over a fire first. The moment I said that, the air around us seemed to freeze. Whether it was Umuha or Umuli and Umula, their faces were filled with utter shock. Chief Yi Yan, we know we said we'd believe anything you say, but to say you want to create the divine fire, we just can't believe it. Umula had a look of terror on his face and exchanged a glance with Umuli and Umuha. They all gulped, starting to think that maybe Yi Yan was a madman after all. Because what was the divine fire? It was a terrifying divine punishment from the sky god that descended every few months, a plague that clung to trees and spread endlessly. Countless tribes had been wiped out by it. All tribes considered the divine fire a great taboo. It was something to be avoided at all costs. And yet, I had just said I was going to create it. The three primitives looked at me with a newfound fear in their eyes. Suddenly, the big, fat fish in their hands didn't seem so appealing anymore. What are you all staring at me for? Their gazes were making me really uncomfortable. It's just starting a fire. I glanced around. There weren't any materials for starting a fire nearby. Using flint would be too much trouble. And drilling wood for fire is just a pain. Ding. Detecting host's brainwaves. Key information identified. Start fire. Now searching for a suitable product for the host. Windproof lighter. Capable of igniting a bonfire. It produces a tiny flame and features windproof technology. It can still be used normally in strong winds. Price: 20 exchange points. The system's voice echoed in my head. I slapped my thigh. I almost completely forgot about the system. It can even detect my brainwaves and recommend products. How intelligent, I thought to myself. Confirm. The next moment, a small, square, jet black box with a lid appeared in my hand. From the outside, it looked just like a rock. I tapped the casing with my finger. It was very solid. Looks like I've got a handy new rock for smashing things, too. A double win. Chief Yi Yan, stop this insane delusion. You talk of creating the divine fire. Do you have any idea that's blasphemy against the sky god? It will bring down divine punishment. The divine fire is not something we are allowed to desecrate. Why must you insist on this? Can't we just eat the fish raw? Otherwise, the fish will go bad. It's such precious food. If we waste it, the great ancestress will be angry. Umuha pleaded earnestly, his brow furrowed in worry. If I didn't take the lead and eat, they wouldn't dare to eat first. That's right, Chief Yi Yan. Please, let's just eat. Stop wasting time. We already have fish. What more could we need? Umuli and Umula chimed in from the side. HMPH. If you all were to eat it now, you're going to regret this 100%. I smirked. The fishy smell of raw fish is just unbearable. If only it could be a perfectly grilled fish, fragrant and dripping with oil. That would be perfect. Well, since you put it that way, then we won't hold back. The eyes of the primitive trio lit up. They grabbed the raw fish and started devouring it. Oh my god, is this what fish tastes like? What a miserable life I've been living until now. Heavens, before long, all that was left of their fish were the bones. If the bones weren't so sharp and hard to chew, they would have swallowed them whole. Meanwhile, I was gathering dry branches and grass nearby, getting ready to start a fire. Chief Yi Yan isn't still trying to figure out how to summon the divine fire, is he? To think he'd skip a meal for that so-called divine fire. He's really something else, and he said we would definitely regret this. Once the fish goes bad, I bet he'll be the one regretting it. After just one fish each, the three of them were too stuffed to move, lying on the ground watching me bustle about. I finally found a spot with soft soil, drove a long, thin branch deep into the ground, and stomped it firm. I made a circle with some rocks and placed flammable dry grass and bark inside. After arranging the kindling, I took out my windproof lighter and lit it. A flicker of light appeared in the pitch-black primitive wilderness. Flash. Congratulations, host, for completing the achievement, Gift of the Fire God. You have received 20 contribution points. By the river, I used a sharp rock to gut the fish and remove its innards. I skewered it on a branch and held the lighter close to the campfire. Just then, Wumuha, who had been dozing off, woke up. He rubbed his sleepy eyes, getting ready to relieve himself. Suddenly, he sensed a flicker of light. Turning to look, he froze on the spot, completely stunned. His eyes were filled with terror. In the dark of the night, my profile was illuminated by the glow of the fire. And that light was the very flame that all primitive people feared, seeing it as a punishment from the heavens. Say God, divine fire. Wumuha let out a distorted, pitiful wail, collapsing to the ground in terror. His wails woke up Wumuli and Wumula. Just as they were about to ask what was happening, they caught sight of the flickering flame and their faces instantly twisted into the most terrified expressions of their lives. It's the divine fire. Yi Yan has brought the heaven's wrath down upon us. He's going to kill us. The image of the flame was seared into their minds. All the tribe's legends about the divine fire flooded their minds. The three of them were like caged beasts awaiting execution, venting their terror with animalistic roars. What are you shouting for? It's the middle of the night. Can't you be quiet? I said, looking at the screaming trio. With a grim expression, it's the divine fire. Ah, we're all going to die. The entire coast will be engulfed in a sea of flames. Everyone's going to die. The three of them were scared out of their wits. Scrambling away in a panic, I looked down at the tiny flame on the lighter in my hand. I couldn't help but wonder, it's just a tiny little flame. Is all this really necessary? I sighed. I clicked the lighter shut. Stop being so scared. The divine fire you're afraid of is gone now. But the three of them paid no attention. Yi Yan, what kind of joke is this? When the divine fire appears, it spreads uncontrollably through the trees and grass. Everyone will be engulfed in a sea of flames, dying in agony after endless torture. So many tribes, so many people have died because of the divine fire's curse. You say the divine fire is gone? Who would believe that? Umulai buried his head in his hands, crying his eyes out, while Umula and Umuha were so terrified they could barely breathe. Just turn around and look. The divine fire is really gone. Umulai, still squatting with his back to me and his head in his hands, refused to believe it. But out of fear, he forced his eyes open and looked in my direction. It was pitch black. There was nothing. No scorching, monstrous sea of fire. No agonizing screams of people being burned alive. Really, there was nothing at all. Umulai remained in his squatting position, head in his hands. He mumbled in a daze, the divine fire. It's really gone. The divine fire is gone. Is it real? Umula and Umuha trembled as they turned to look. They found no trace of the hell on earth they had imagined, only silent, pitch-black darkness. Three of them collapsed to the ground, gasping for air, truly feeling like they had just survived a disaster. Could it be that was just a hallucination? It wasn't a hallucination, I said, looking at them. I flicked the lighter again, and a small flame appeared before the three of them once more. Just as they had calmed down, their hearts instantly leapt into their throats. Didn't the divine fire just disappear? How is it back again? Their legs went weak. They couldn't run even if they tried. The three of them were beyond tears. For a moment, they felt like it would be better to just die. Now do you believe me? This divine fire you speak of, the one that brings disaster. I can control it with ease, I said, looking down on them as I flicked the lighter on and off. I said coolly, as the flame died and flared up again. Flaring up and dying down again, leaving the three of them completely dumbfounded. You can even control the divine fire? Umulai said with a stunned expression. How is that possible? This is the celestial flame that only the gods can summon. How could a mortal control it so freely? Umuha shook his head, a look of terror on his face. This is absolutely impossible. It defies all logic. Umula stared intently at the flame in my hand, not daring to look away for even a second. The divine fire, which they revered as a god, was actually being controlled by me. What did all their years of reverence mean now? Was it just a courtesy? While the three of them were still in shock, I flicked the lighter on again, bent down, and lit the prepared campfire. The fire roared to life and began to roast the fish skewered above it. The three of them just stared, wide-eyed, as I cooked the fish. When it was done, I pulled the skewer out, looking at the sizzling, fragrant roasted fish. Can't tell you how excited I was. Ever since I got here, I've been eating nothing but sour. berries and bitter wild greens. I was already so hungry my cheeks had hollowed, and after being busy for half the day without eating, I could finally have a bite of roasted fish. I was moved beyond words, but the fish looked a little plain by itself, so I squeezed the juice from the berries Umus gave me earlier and drizzled it on top. Perfect. I took a bite. It was crispy and fragrant on the outside, and fresh and tender on the inside. The sourness of the berries enriches the flavor. I ate it with great relish, and beside me, the three primitive men caught the scent and were completely dumbfounded. What is he doing with the sacred fire we revere as a god? Putting a fish on it? Why is such a fragrant aroma wafting out? Umuli and Umula were now staring at the fish in my hands. Their eyes widened. What is that thing? It smells absolutely amazing, Yi Yan. What are you eating? Umuli asked, looking at the grilled fish in my hand. He asked cautiously, completely captivated by the aroma. It even overpowered his earlier fear of the sacred fire. Grilled fish. This is what I was talking about. The way of eating that you'd definitely regret missing out on, I said nonchalantly, chewing on the fish meat. It suddenly dawned on Umula. He stretched out a trembling finger, pointing at the grilled fish in my hands. Chief, the reason you lit the sacred fire was just to make the fish taste better? I nodded. The three of them were once again dumbfounded. To use the sacred fire just to make fish taste better. At that moment, looking at my silhouette, they felt that this man was vaster than the heavens and the earth. Their expressions changed, filled with reverence, and even a hint of fear. No scales to prick your mouth, no stinking entrails. Only fresh, tender fish meat. And it's much more fragrant than when it's raw. Manhwa was so enticed by the grilled fish that he had forgotten everything else. I told you so. You all didn't believe me, so you can't blame me now, I said, picking a fishbone from my mouth. Those words struck the three of them like a clap of thunder. They had clearly made up their minds not to doubt me again. So why didn't they believe me in the first place? Umuha, on the other hand, felt like crying but had no tears. He had eaten an entire large fish and was still very full. Even if I gave him the grilled fish, he was too full to eat it. Looking at their expressions, I let out a big laugh. I can't blame them. For primitive people, something like grilled fish is completely unimaginable. I glanced at the fish on the branches. I had grilled a total of 3 large fish. I took one of them off and handed it to Umuli and Umula. You two eat this one. This one fish probably won't be enough for you. I'm keeping the last one. I have another use for it. Remember, now that you've eaten my food, you have to work hard. Do you hear me? The two of them looked at the grilled fish being handed to them, and for a moment, they became worried again. This fish smells fragrant and looks delicious, but it was cooked on the sacred fire, after all. Would eating it be blaspheming the gods? Give it to me, Chief Yi Yan. Just as the two of them were hesitating, Umuha scoffed and snatched the grilled fish out of my hands. He started taking huge bites. HMPH. You don't even have the guts to eat something that smells this good? You cowards are useless. What are you talking about, Umuha? Leave some for us. Umuli and Umula watched as the grilled fish was gobbled up by Umuha with great relish. They immediately grew anxious. Who cared about blaspheming the gods now? They scrambled to snatch the food away from Umuha, but it was too late. All that was left of the whole grilled fish was a tiny piece of the tail. With long, mournful faces, the two of them split the tail in half and each put their piece in their mouths. Boo-hoo. There's only this tiny little piece left. I regret this so much. Umuha, you damn bastard. Watching this scene, I couldn't help but chuckle. It was late at night when suddenly, I heard the sound of footsteps. Yi Yan, I brought you some food. The tribe picked some of the best sour berries. They're so delicious. You must not have eaten all day, have you? I didn't eat too many myself, so I brought the rest for you. The sweet voice belonged to a young girl, Wumuzi. She looked a little tired around the eyes. She came and sat on the rock next to me. Everyone in the tribe is asleep now. Chief Wumuya forbade me from coming to see you, so I had to sneak out in the middle of the night to find you. You must not have eaten anything all day. You must be starving. These berries were just picked today. They're really sweet. She opened her small palm, revealing several plump, fresh berries. I looked at her worried expression and just gave a small smile. What do you mean I haven't eaten? I just ate a whole big fish. I'm still full from it. But her, on the other hand, there isn't much food to go around for each person in the tribe, and yet she saved her berries for me. She must be starving. Seeing that I wasn't reaching for them, Wumuzi thought I was too shy to accept them, so she puffed out her chest, trying to look confident. We picked a lot of berries today. I've already eaten plenty. This is precious food. If you don't eat it now, it won't be fresh anymore. I looked at her expression and couldn't help but smile to myself. Then I pushed the berries back into her hands. I'm not eating. You should have them all. Wumuzi immediately grew anxious. Brother Yi Yan, you've been frail since you were a child. And today you were kicked out of the tribe. You must not have eaten all afternoon. These berries are so good for you. Please, eat them, otherwise, your body won't be able to handle it. Hearing this, the primitive trio standing nearby burst into laughter. Oh my, berries are so precious. Too bad we're already too good for those sour little fruits. It's not just us who look down on them. Our leader, Yi Yan, looks down on them even more. Wumuzi got angry. What nonsense are you talking about? You bunch of men, you can't do anything right. These berries are so good that even we women rarely get to eat them. How could you possibly look down on them? It's obvious you just can't get any for yourselves. And you don't want Brother Yi Yan to eat them either. Stop putting on an act. Heh, Wumuzi, do you know why we look down on those berries you brought? Because we have fish to eat, the primitive trio said with a smug look. Wumuzi looked shocked. Fish? Don't they just swim in the river? Even our chief, Wumuya, drools at the mere mention of fish. Hardly any of the chiefs from the nearby tribes have ever eaten one. How is that possible? Fish swim in the water. Even Chief Wumuya has never eaten fish. You're just a few men. How could you possibly have fish to eat? Umuji, if you don't believe me, then take a look at this. I said with a smirk. I pulled a roasted fish out of the embers. The warmth from the ash had preserved it perfectly. It was still incredibly delicious. What is this? Umuji asked, staring at the fish skewered on a branch. Her face was filled with shock. It's a fish. I handed the roasted fish to her and said casually, wow, you really have fish. Her face was a mask of disbelief. Fish was something she could normally only dream of tasting. And now, here one was, right in front of her. I know it's a fish. But, why does this fish look so different from the ones I usually see in the river? The fish in front of her was golden brown all over. And its skin was glistening with oil. It looked nothing like the ones in the river. That's because it's a roasted fish. Roasted fish? You'll understand once you take a bite. Trusting me, Umuji cautiously took a small bite. In that instant, her mouth, which had only ever tasted berries, came into contact with the rich oils, and it was like a whole new world opened up to her. One bite followed another, and in just a few mouthfuls, it was all gone. This is so delicious. Umuji's eyes lit up. I was so worried that you weren't getting enough to eat out here, but it turns out you're eating roasted fish. And here I am, bringing you berries. Thinking about this, she wished she could find a hole to crawl into. How are the men who didn't leave the tribe? I asked about the tribe's affairs. I wanted to return and get even with Umuya. But first, I needed to gather some information. The tribe is short on food right now. To conserve food, the chief took those men. Chief Umuya rounded them up and sent them off to a remote area. There are over a dozen of them, but they only have enough food for a few people. On top of that, they're still responsible for gathering duties, so their situation is even tougher. A few of them even tried to cultivate, but they all ended up dying. I nodded. It's already hard enough to survive on just berries and wild greens. With even less food now, they're probably on the brink of starvation. But then I realized, this is the perfect opportunity to recruit them. Perfect, Umuji, it's getting late. Come on, take a few fish with you. I got up to walk towards the spot by the river where I was keeping them. I had them strung up on a branch through their gills, so they couldn't die or escape. But Umuji was stunned. What do you mean, take a few fish? You think fish are just some cheap thing you can give away, Brother Yayan? I don't want them. I don't know where you got these from. But fish are really precious and valuable. People in the nearby tribes have never even eaten one. Even if you just found these, you have to hide them well. Today's fish was delicious. Thank you. You have to protect yourself. Make sure you stay alive. I'll come see you again. I fell silent when I heard that. She actually thought I had just found the fish somewhere. This is unbearable. It looks like I need to show Wumuzi a thing or two. Wumuzi, I told you. I'm going to build a tribe 1,000, 10,000 times stronger than Wumuya's. You don't believe me, do you? Then come with me, I said seriously. Brother Yi Yan, you're actually still thinking about building a tribe? Is he really that devastated by what happened? Wumuzi thought, looking at my serious expression. Sadness welled up inside her. Everyone in the tribe said I couldn't handle The blow of being exiled and had gone crazy. She never wanted to believe it, but if he wasn't crazy, why would he say such unrealistic things? I looked at her pitiful expression and was so frustrated I could have burst a blood vessel. Am I going to have to show every single primitive how to fish? I decided not to say anything else. I just grabbed Wumuzi's hand and walked toward the river. Her face flushed red, but she had no choice but to follow me. The moment I lifted the fishing net by the river, a catch of lively, flopping fish appeared before her. She was completely stunned. What is this? Several large fish and over 10 small ones were flopping about. Wumuzi stood frozen in place, her face filled with disbelief. Brother Yi Yan, these fish, did you find them somewhere? Wumuzi asked cautiously. What do you mean, find them? I caught them, with this fishing net, I said calmly, picking a few fish from the net, stringing them on a vine, and handing them to her. Wumuzi took the fish in a daze. These fish, you caught them? You actually know how to catch fish? Is that even possible? Her whole worldview was crumbling. Brother Yi Yan, who was exiled from the tribe and starving, could actually pull fish out of the life-stealing water? She recalled what I said today about building a tribe 1,000, 10,000 times better than Wumu is. Could it be that he's actually confident? Keep the fish and eat them yourself. Remember not to let anyone else see them, and from now on, you're not allowed to look down on me. You hear me? I gently tapped Wumuzi on the head. She held the large fish in her hand. The happiness and shock had come all too suddenly. When she came to her senses, all she could see was my handsome, tan face. Wumuzi suddenly blushed, and also, if you feel too tired, you can consider staying the night. I suddenly gave Wumuzi a mischievous grin. Her face turned red at a visible speed. Her bright eyes darted about, not knowing where to look, and she instantly became very awkward. I found it hilarious. It felt like I'd gotten away with a prank. Even if primitive people are more open about these things, Wumuzi is still just a young girl, after all. She's bound to be shy. But I was just kidding about having her stay over. Even if I wanted to, it's already afternoon. We only have a shelter with one large communal bed. There isn't even a room where we could be alone. Wumuzi said with her head lowered, her eyes fixed on her toes. But, I'm still too young. When I'm a little older, and as big as Wumu. Yeah, the clan leader. I fell into thought as I listened to her. It's true, Wumuzi hasn't fully blossomed yet. She's already known far and wide as a budding beauty. But do I really have to wait until she's as old as that woman, Wumu Ya? But as I mulled it over, I started to feel that something wasn't right about what she said. It had a hidden meaning, about Wumu Ya, being that old. By the time I came back to my senses, Wumu Zi had already left shyly. I stared at the distant sky, feeling utterly lost. I'm going to have the primal trio build me a house right away. I can't wait anymore. I can't wait another second. Sighing, I crawled back into the communal bunk to sleep. The next day, in a cramped cave southwest of the tribe's camp, the sallow, emaciated men were silent. They were too tired to even speak another word. The cave was dark, damp, and freezing. They hadn't left with me yesterday. They'd shamelessly insisted on staying. Not only were they in charge of gathering, but their food rations had also been cut in half. Among them, a man who was sitting cross-legged and cultivating let out a pained groan. Wumu Fa, he's having a cultivation deviation. The others cried out in alarm, trying to shake him awake. The man named Wumu Fa suddenly snapped his eyes open. His eyes were bloodshot as he gasped for air. Sweat poured down his face. I almost died. Wumu Fa shuddered with lingering fear. If he hadn't managed to pull his consciousness back, he would have died like the others who tried to cultivate. We men are no match for the women. There's no way for us to cultivate as fast as they do. We've been training for so long, and we still don't gain as much as they do in a single day. So many have died, don't you know that? Why are you still trying to cultivate? The other men chided, their voices trembling. Hey, if I don't cultivate, what am I supposed to do? Just wait to die? If we keep going on like this, we're all doomed for sure. Instead of this, I'd rather risk my life and give it one last shot. Wumu Fa said with a bitter smile, looking at the others. He was the oldest and most experienced among them. Although his cultivation speed couldn't compare to the women, he was the fastest among the men. If I can't risk it all and make a breakthrough, how will we get food? How could I face my brothers who see me as their leader? He had been cultivating cautiously, as if walking on thin ice, for a very long time. He was still stuck in the first realm, with only slightly greater strength and vitality. Meanwhile, almost all the women in the tribe were in the second or third realm. They could take down a man with just one hand. The clan chief, Wumu Ya, was at the fourth realm. Even a young girl like Wumu Z was at a higher realm than him. Wumu Fa clenched his fists, laughing at himself. Why, we're all human, but just because I'm a man, do I have to live such a difficult life? Let's go. It's time to head out for today's gathering mission. He dragged his weak, exhausted body toward the mouth of the cave. If this keeps up, I don't think we'll last much longer. It's just a matter of when. But what choice do we have? Other than this, how else are we supposed to live? The men exchanged self-deprecating smiles. If only, I really wish a god would appear, carrying food for us. Told us that as long as we followed him, we would never have to worry about food again. If that's the case, I'd be willing to work myself to the bone. A few of them smiled miserably. It's probably impossible, right? Hey, look who's here. By order of the Honorable and Almighty Chief Yi Yan, I, the Great Umuha, have brought food to save you. In the blinding sunlight outside the cave, a grinning figure with a fish in his left hand and a fish in his right, Umuha, stood at the entrance. Everyone stared, dumbfounded. Umuha. Everyone looked at his greasy face and bulging, powerful muscles. Their faces were full of shock and doubt. Umuha, weren't you, Unuli, and Unula kicked out of the tribe? How do you look so well fed? Don't tell me you found a good tribe to take you in? Everyone crowded around him, their faces full of envy. There was only one possible explanation. Umuha had found a good tribe. It's not just a good tribe, it's simply the best tribe in the world. Umuha said smugly, and the tribe is willing to take you in. That's exactly why I'm here. Everyone's eyes immediately lit up. Really? Is there really such a good tribe that's willing to take us in, Umuha? You're not kidding us, are you? You're telling the truth, right? Don't worry. They're absolutely willing. The chief already knows about your situation, so just relax and be happy. Umuha chuckled. This morning, I had him come find this group of tribespeople who didn't leave with us. The goal was to recruit them. He's in charge of running errands and recruiting, while Unuli and Unula, according to my instructions, are building houses and caves. As I said, they ate their fill yesterday. So today they should be working hard. Umuha, then hurry up and tell us, who's the chief? How many people are in the tribe? Everyone asked curiously. HMPH. The tribe is on the riverbank, not far from our tribe. Umuha said mysteriously. The riverbank? It's not just not far from here. You could say it's right next to our tribe. Everyone looked confused. And the chief is the Honorable and Almighty Yi Yan. Umuha announced loudly. The hope that everyone had been holding on to instantly died. Yi Yan? Didn't he go crazy because he couldn't handle the blow? Yeah, yesterday, he not only disrespected and threatened Chief Umuya, but he also spouted nonsense about starting some tribe. Since when do men start tribes? Yeah, exactly. How could a man possibly start a tribe? Everyone couldn't hide their disappointment. They were about to go out and forage again. You don't believe me? Chief Yi Yan had me bring this food. If you want food, you have to join our Chief Yi Yan's tribe. A smirk appeared on Umuha's face. TCH. Yesterday, there were only 4 of you in total. 4 people. What can you possibly accomplish? Even if you brought berries and wild vegetables, you couldn't fool me. Everyone scoffed. Wait a minute, what is this? Wumufa stared at what was in Wumuha's hands. He was staring blankly at the things he was holding. Those 2 things were as long as his forearm and as thick as a bowl. When he was young, he had seen a small fish jump onto the riverbank. It was only the length of a finger, but it was the most delicious food he had ever eaten. And what Wumuha was holding right now, wasn't that a fish? Fish? How is that possible? Fish is something that even the chief has probably never eaten. Wumuha was able to get fish by following Yi Yan? What a joke, everyone said with contempt. At the same time, they looked in the direction Wumufa was pointing, towards Wumuha's hands. The gills of the creatures, held by vines, were still pulsing, looking almost exactly like the fish that swim in the river. And they're so damn big. What are these? This is. The men, who had eaten almost nothing for days, stared intently at the 2 big fish, their mouths watering uncontrollably. It really is fish. It's actually fish. Wumuha actually managed to get fish. How is that possible? The tribespeople gasped. Ah, food. It's food. The eyes of several men gleamed. They rushed out from the corner, charging towards the large fish like hungry wolves pouncing on their prey. They hadn't eaten a proper meal in a very, very long time. Fish was the ultimate delicacy, something they could only stare at helplessly from the riverbank each year. Forget about them, even the chief had likely never eaten it. But Wumuha, with a turn of his sturdy body, held the fish away from them. He kept the impatient tribesmen at a distance. Wait a minute, you haven't sworn to pledge allegiance to our chief Yi Yan yet. Just a moment ago, you were mocking our chief Yi Yan, calling her a lunatic. And now you want to eat the fish? No way. After leaving the tribe, Wumuha had eaten his fill of fish. He was glowing with health, and his once lean muscles were now bulging. It was easy for him to hold back a few of these malnourished, skinny men. Wumuha, you let go of it. Since you have fish, why won't you give it to us? Are you even a man of our tribe anymore? When the men saw they couldn't snatch the fish, they started to curse at Wumuha. Haha, I haven't been a man of this tribe for a long time. I am now a member of Chief Yi Yan's tribe. Hearing her name, the tribesmen all frowned. He can't say 3 words without mentioning Yi Yan. Isn't she just a lunatic who daydreams all day? Wumuha, stop your daydreaming. There are so many of us here. You'd better be smart about this. Just hand over the fish so we can all eat, and we'll consider asking the chief to go easy on you. We'll calm her down so you can stay in the tribe. You have to understand, staying in the tribe means you'll continue to receive the chief's protection. We can all gather berries together and live a good life. Isn't that better than being out there, following that Yi Yan who just pretends to be a fool all day? Hearing this, Wumuha found it laughable. A good life? Asking for mercy? You can't even save your own skins, and you're pleading for me? Come back to be treated like animals, just like you? Following Yi Yan and eating fish every day is so much better. Why should I come back to starve every day, waiting to die in this crappy little cave? They must take me for a fool. He watched his clansmen desperately fighting over the fish. A hint of pity appeared in his eyes. If this had been yesterday, he might have thought there was some merit to what these people were saying. But now he had seen the good life I brought them, where they no longer had to starve. They could even eat fish until they were full, and I can control the divine fire. I even grilled the fish to an unheard of, incredible deliciousness, just to make it taste better. All of his confidence came from me. It was I who showed him that men can have rights too. That they don't have to grovel before women. Hey, and you're threatening me? You think I scare that easily? Ever since I joined clan leader Yi Yan, I've been able to eat all the fish I want every day. I'm actually sick of eating fish now. If this fish didn't belong to clan leader Yi Yan, I wouldn't even bother stopping you. Wumuha pushed aside the clansmen who were still fighting over it and said nonchalantly. Those few scrawny clansmen couldn't possibly withstand such a push. They were already weak from hunger. Now, being shoved by Wumuha, who ate his fill every day, they stumbled and fell all over the place. They were sent tumbling. Wumuha, what are you doing? We just want to eat some fish. Did you have to do that? The clansmen who were pushed down asked angrily. That's enough. You all go to the back. And check carefully to see if you're injured. At a critical time like this, with no food, if you get injured, it's as good as a death sentence. No one will be able to save you. Steady and capable voice called out as Wumufa pushed through the bickering clansmen and emerged. He was middle-aged and the most senior among them. He held the most prestige among the exiled male clansmen. Wumuha, I just heard you say you're sick of eating fish. Is that true? Wumuha nodded. It's true. I'm not lying to you. If you want to eat fish, you have to join clan leader Yi Yan's tribe and do as he says. It's that simple. Not only can clan leader Yi Yan catch fish, but he can also summon the divine fire. He can control the divine fire. What's more, he can even roast fish over it. He says that after it's cooked, the fish becomes grilled fish. We've all tried it, and it's countless times more delicious than eating it raw. The atmosphere in the cave instantly became tense. What are you saying? Stop spouting nonsense. Wumuha, how dare you say such blasphemous things? Aren't you afraid of divine retribution? Has Yi Yan gone mad? And now you've gone mad too? A clansman behind him shouted in anger. The divine fire is a punishment from the gods. Everything it touches is turned into a desolate sea of flames. How could Wumuha say such a thing? I'm really not lying. What would I gain from lying to you? Wumuha shrugged. Wumuha, do you realize that what you're saying is a great disrespect to the gods? It's blasphemy. Aren't you afraid the gods will send a heavenly punishment and burn us both to a crisp? Wumufa, who had been silent all this time, frowned and spoke with great earnestness. I'm sure of it. I don't know if it'll bring down divine punishment. But what I said about Chief Yi Yan being able to control the divine fire is absolutely true. If you don't believe me, you can go see for yourselves, Umuha said, looking at Umufa. His face serious. Umufa looked back at him, a stunned expression on his face. If that's the case, then we'll have to take a good look. Umufa scoffed. He had thought Umuha was an honest kid, but he didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Since he's so adamant, then we might as well go and see. Fine, then all of you, come with me. Umuha didn't think much of it and turned to leave the cave. After all, the camp isn't far from here. Words won't convince them, so they might as well see his power for themselves, and then they'll understand. With that, Umuha led the group of tribesmen to their camp by the riverbank. From a distance, they could see Umulai and Umula fishing by the river, while I was by the campfire not far away. Just as Umuha had expected, the divine fire soon appeared in the campfire. Oh, Umuha, you brought them? I looked up, looking at the few lean, dark-skinned tribesmen following behind him. The corner of my mouth lifted into a slight smile. The cornerstone for the tribe's prosperity. Here they are. Hey, they don't even have a cave. Just a shabby shelter. I bet if a strong wind came, it would all be blown away. The first thing the tribesmen saw was the makeshift shelter they had barely managed to build the night before. In their eyes, it was a symbol of weakness. But as they walked further, everything changed. They saw me squatting in front of a pile of wood ringed by stones, tinkering with something. The crowd craned their necks to get a better look, just as a blaze of fire erupted, sending scorching heat waves and thick smoke billowing into the sky. The pupils of every tribesman constricted in an instant. The divine fire has come. It's the divine fire. Run. Yi Yan. He actually summoned the divine fire. The tribesmen scattered in a panic, screaming and crying. Even the worldly wise Umufa tensed up, his body frozen so stiff he couldn't move an inch. The scene from decades ago, when he witnessed the divine fire descend, flashed before his eyes. The entire forest had burned for 3 days and 3 nights, its black smoke blotting out the sun. For miles around, no sunlight could be seen. Only after a torrential downpour did the wildfire finally die out. He had gone to investigate. All the plants, animals, and people had been burned to ashes. Impossible to tell one from another. The terror from over a decade ago shot through time and struck him right in the face. His legs wouldn't stop trembling. He wanted to run, but he couldn't make them move. It's the divine fire. We have to run. When the divine fire appears, it's bound to consume everything. I can't believe it. That Yi Yan, he can actually summon the divine fire. Does he plan on killing all of us? Umufa said in despair, using the last of his strength. But just then, he noticed something strange. The divine fire seemed to be contained within the circle of stones, not spreading outward at all. Chief Yi Yan, please put out the divine fire. Tribesmen are scared to death. I looked up. I looked at the group of dark, skinny tribesmen. They stared at me as if I were a demon. A smirk formed on my lips. If I don't establish my authority, then nothing will get done. If I don't show these primitive people how I can start a fire, they'll just think I'm a madman. What was it that Wumuha just said? He said, that Yi Yan can extinguish the divine fire. What? The divine fire is a heavenly punishment from the wrathful gods. How could it possibly be extinguished unless the divine punishment itself has ended? Exactly, it's even more impossible for Yi Yan to be the one to put it out. The tribesmen, already scared out of their wits, looked at each other in terror. I told you so. Chief Yi Yan can control the divine fire. Not only can he make it rise, but he can also make it go out. Wumuha folded his arms across his chest, full of confidence. What? Not only can he make the divine fire rise, he can also make it go out? That's impossible. The tribesmen felt their entire worldview collapsing. The divine fire is a tool of the gods' punishment. Once you incur their wrath, it follows you to the ends of the earth, never dying, never going out. But the way Wumuha put it, how did it suddenly become my plaything? However, at this moment, as I looked at the terrified gazes everyone was giving me, I smiled smugly. Just go ahead and bow down at my feet. You'll be the solid foundation for the patriarchal clan I'm going to build. Then, I used a branch to pull the firewood out of the bonfire. I covered the fire with a rock to extinguish it. The flames that had been raging just a second before let out a puff of white smoke and were extinguished the next. The moment I moved the rock away, the tribesmen erupted in a tremendous gasp of shock. It's actually out. The divine fire. The fire that scorches the sky and the earth was actually put out by Yi Yan. Not only can he summon the divine fire, he can also extinguish it. How is that possible? He's a monster. They refused to believe it, no matter what. That the divine fire, which they regarded as a deity, could be so easily controlled by a single person, like a well-behaved toy. Wumuha was stunned into place. The divine fire, which he remembered could so easily take a person's life, had become so powerless in front of me. You bunch of primitives who've never seen the world. What's the big deal about controlling the divine fire? For our chief Yi Yan, controlling the divine fire is a piece of cake. You're making a big fuss over this? Just wait until you see our chief Yi Yan catch and grill fish. You'll probably be scared to death. The three of them, Wumuha, Wumuli, and Wumula, looked at the crowd, who were scared stiff, and mocked them mercilessly. The tribesmen were seething with anger. Yi Yan was the one who started the fire and put it out. What did the three of you do besides stand on the sidelines and watch? Chief, this rope is moving, came the voices of Wumuli and Wumula. Only then did everyone notice that they had been standing by the river, holding a vine together, the very vine that was attached to my fishing net. I had told them to go fishing, but the two primitives just stared blankly at the net, with no idea how to use it. So I had to cast the net myself and hand them the vine, telling them to pull with all their might the moment it moved. When the rope moves, pull it up. Yes, chief. The two of them began to pull with all their might. Everyone looked completely baffled. What are they doing? Why are Wumuli and Wumula pulling on a vine in the river? Is there some point to this? Are they exercising or something? You don't need to guess. They're catching fish, Wumuha said simply. His words made looks of shocked disbelief erupt on the tribesmen's faces. Catching fish? For real? So, you're saying Yi Yan can catch fish and he isn't bragging? Wumuha laughed heartily. Why would I need to brag to you all about clan leader Yi Yan? If you don't believe me, just see for yourselves. The crowd still didn't believe him. Alright, your clan leader Yi Yan can do anything. Not only can he summon the divine fire and extinguish the divine fire, he can also catch fish. He can do it all. Happy now? He can fly up to the heavens and dive into the earth. He can ride tigers and capture dragons. There, is that good enough for you? Satisfied? The crowd looked on with disdain. Some even rolled their eyes. Just then, Wumuli and Wumula pulled with all their might, finally hauling the fishing net ashore. Clan leader, we pulled it up. The two of them looked at me with shining eyes. The corner of my mouth lifted slightly. Revealing a smug, mischievous smile, I said, then go ahead and open the fishing net. Let's show them what exactly it is we've pulled up from the river. Tell them whether we actually know how to fish or not. Yes, clan leader. Wumuli and Wumula grinned, sweat flying everywhere, as they struggled to drag the net onto the bank. What on earth is that thing they pulled up? A straw mat? It's just a raggedy straw mat. And it's woven so poorly. Are you kidding me? This is what you call catching fish? Catching fish with a straw mat? Seeing the net, the crowd immediately exchanged mocking glances and jeered relentlessly. Oh, wow, so your great clan leader Yi Yan catches fish with a straw mat? Hey, we have straw mats in our caves, too. And they're woven much better than this one. Ours don't even have holes in them. How about that? So I guess if we just take our straw mats and throw them in the river, we can catch fish too, right? Facing their ridicule, I said nothing. I calmly walked toward the fishing net and threw it open. Lively, flopping, fresh fish appeared before everyone. 4 big fish. Their scales shimmered as they reflected the sunlight. No way. There's actually fish. Ah, why are the scales so shiny in the sun? Yi Yan actually managed to catch fish. First the divine fire, now fish. Has he gone mad, or have I? I can't even tell anymore. The large fish would occasionally thrash about, leaping high into the air. Watching the lively, flopping fish, the crowd felt as if their entire worldview was being shattered by me. Hey, you're this astonished just by a few fish? You'll probably die of fright when you see the roasted fish later. I told you so, you bunch of primitive people. What an embarrassment. Wumuha looked at his clansmen, who were stumbling around in shock, and sighed with a pretentious, world-weary air. Roasted fish? What's roasted fish? The crowd heard this unfamiliar word. Wumuha had mentioned it briefly before, but since they had never even seen a fish, they couldn't possibly have a concept of it. Is it something Yi Yan just made up? Probably. He already produced fish, and now he's talking about roasted fish. That's just ridiculous. They'd seen the divine fire and the fish with their own eyes, but they had no idea what grilled fish even was. They truly didn't believe it. The whole crowd just shook their heads. HMPH, if you don't believe me, then don't. Umuha, Umulai, Umufa. Come get these fish ready. Let's begin. Grilling the fish. I had the trio of primitives gut the fish and scrape off the scales. Then clean out the innards and skewer the fish on branches. Yes, when the three of them heard they were going to grill fish, their eyes instantly lit up and they scampered over to help. They were incredibly efficient. Just thinking about the unforgettable taste of last night's grilled fish made their mouths water. What are they doing? Wouldn't it be fine to just eat the fish raw? Why do they have to cut open the fish's belly and throw the stuff inside away? Isn't that a complete waste? Exactly, Umulai, Umula, Umufa. We worked so hard to catch these fish, so why are you throwing away a part of the meat? Wasting food is shameful. The great-grandmother will be angry. When the tribespeople saw the trio of primitives pulling out the guts and throwing them away, they were filled with righteous indignation. They had been huddled in the cave for days, starving, only to see these beautiful, big fish being wasted like this. They were so angry they could stomp their feet, but there was nothing they could do since the fish wasn't theirs. What do you all know? Chief Yi Yan said that this is the fish's guts. You can't eat it, and even if you had to, you can't leave it in the fish's belly. It has to be taken out. Otherwise, it will ruin the taste of the grilled fish. Umulai and Umula snorted, their faces full of pride. You're just a bunch of primitives who've never seen the world. We let you join Chief Yi Yan's tribe, and you still whine and complain about everything. When the fish is grilled later, I guarantee there won't be enough for you to eat. Don't regret it then. The tribespeople were furious. What guts? What can't be eaten? Fish is meat, and meat is for eating. Wasting food. The great-grandmother will never forgive you. The primitives were both angry and annoyed, angry about the wasted food, and annoyed that the fish weren't the ones they had caught. I listened to them stomp their feet and curse angrily. Heh, I chuckled. Great-grandmother, really? When this group of primitives sees the grilled fish, they'll probably want to call me their great-grandfather on the spot. Chief, the fish are ready. The 4 big fish and 7 small fish had been quickly prepared by the eager trio of primitives. Good. Take the branches skewering the fish and stand aside. Your chief is about to summon the divine fire. I stood up and spoke calmly. The 3 primitives backed away. I glanced at how far back they went in their somewhat stiff expressions, and the corner of my mouth curled up. On the surface, they act all high and mighty to outsiders. But in reality, they're still a little afraid of the divine fire I summon. Chief, please, ignite the divine fire. Umuha's voice called out. I nodded slightly and took out a lighter. I lit the bonfire, which was already piled with firewood. Whoosh, the flame spread, growing into a roaring bonfire. It's lit again. Terrifying. So terrifying. The divine fire is just too terrifying. Maybe we should just go. The sight of the divine fire makes me feel like I'm going to wet myself. Although the tribe members aren't as scared as they were at first. A few of them still have trembling legs, and some even collapsed right onto the ground. Yi Yan, what is he doing, summoning the divine fire again? Wumu Fa's voice trembled as he looked from the bonfire back to me. His eyes were filled with confusion. Was I still the same Yi Yan he thought he knew? Wumu Ha, Wumu Li, Wumu La. Do as I say, stick the branches in the ground. Begin roasting the fish. Yes, Chief Yi Yan. The 3 of them slammed the branches into the soft earth and stomped them secure. Each of the 3 branches held 1 or 2 large fish and several smaller ones, all of them already cleaned. All that was left was to roast them. The fish were right under the bonfire. Their skin started turning a beautiful golden brown as oil dripped down from them. He put the fish on the divine fire. This is utter blasphemy. This is utter blasphemy. The tribe members felt like the sky was falling. He's actually using the divine fire we revere as a god to roast fish. Run. Yi Yan is being so disrespectful to the divine fire. It's going to bring down a heavenly punishment. It definitely will. Run. Some people tried to scramble away, but their legs were numb from being in shock and terror for so long. They couldn't even take a step, and fell flat on their faces. We're dead. We've witnessed such a sacrilegious act. The heavens will surely punish us right along with him. We can't escape. Wumu Fa swallowed hard, his voice filled with utter terror. A madman. That Yi Yan, he's a complete madman, and Wumu Li is a madman, too. Everyone who gets close to Yi Yan is a madman. They've all gone crazy. Driven mad with fear, the tribe members started laughing hysterically with crazed, self-mocking smiles. But I couldn't care less what they were thinking. I was anxiously watching the intensity of the fire and the sizzling, oil-dripping fish. If I made the slightest mistake, the texture would be ruined. This was a very serious matter. The chief, he looks so cool when he's concentrating. Only he can control the flavor of the fish. I know the chief will make the most delicious roasted fish ever. The original trio watched me with admiration. The fish are ready, just as I said. Take them away now. At my sharp command, the three of them leapt into action, yanking out the branches with the roasted fish they were in charge of and moving away from the bonfire. Hey, everyone, do you smell that? Just as the tribe members were lost in their boundless terror, they suddenly heard one of their own speak up. I really do smell something. Everyone was stunned. Where was that smell coming from? I think it's coming from over where Yi Yan and his group are. The tribe members looked in that direction and saw a sight they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Those fish, the likes of which they'd never seen before, after being prepared in a way they couldn't possibly comprehend, were then sacrilegiously placed over the divine fire to cook. And now they were giving off an incredible aroma, even though they knew it was blasphemy. But the aroma was making them waver. The instinct of starving for days was clashing fiercely with their rational fear of the gods. Haha, I bet they're about to die from the craving. If they watch us eat this grilled fish, they'll probably go insane right here and now. Ha 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 ha. Each of the primitive trio held a branch skewered with fragrant, charred grilled fish. They sniffed the aroma with blissful expressions, but no one took a bite. They were all waiting for my command. You can eat now, but eat slowly. Remember to eat slowly and deliberately. We need to put on a good show for our future tribe members. Let them understand the strength of our patriarchal tribe. I looked at the conflicted faces of the tribesmen in the distance and gave a slight smile. Alright, let's start eating. This is so delicious. The eyes of the three lit up. They held the grilled fish and feasted, having worked all morning just for this moment. I tore off a piece, put it in my mouth, and chewed slowly. The oils melted in my mouth. There was no need to act. Once you ate the grilled fish, you couldn't feel anything but pure bliss. I tore off a piece as well and nodded slightly. It's decent. At least we don't have to gnaw on raw fish anymore. No need to worry about parasites or getting diarrhea. Meanwhile, the tribesmen on the side watched the blissful expressions on our faces as we stuffed the grilled fish into our mouths, listening to the crisp crunch of the meat. As they smelled that aroma, their pupils quaked. Their world was collapsing, and a chorus of hungry growls rumbled from their stomachs. There was only one thought in their minds. Damn it, I want to eat. So that's the grilled fish they were talking about? The thing that was grilled over the divine fire. A blasphemous object. How can it smell so good? It smells so good. It smells so good. I can't take it anymore. I really want to eat it. How can it smell this amazing? Tribesmen began to go into a frenzy. So this is what happens when you desecrate the divine fire. You can make something this delicious. The gods, won't they be angry? Oh, no. What a shame. Our chief Yeyan was kind enough to invite certain people to join our tribe for some grilled fish. But his kindness was completely wasted on them, and he was even called a madman. Sigh, now all they can do is stand there and watch. Wumuha sighed with false pity. When the tribesmen heard this, their world came crashing down. Back when Wumuha came to them, why didn't we believe him? He even brought 2 big fish. Why on earth didn't we believe him? Now the grilled fish is right in front of us, and we can't have any. We shouldn't have done that. If only we could have just 1 bite. Forget joining their tribe. I'd rather work like an ox for them than be treated like a male monkey in Wumuya's tribe. At least we'd get something to eat. There's only a little bit of fish left. I'll ask one last time. Does anyone want to join our tribe? This is the last time I'm going to ask. After this chance is gone, there won't be another. I swallowed a bite of the grilled fish. I said calmly, and the atmosphere felt like it had frozen solid. I was waiting for them to take the bait. Join my tribe, become the cornerstones for building our patriarchal clan. The tribesmen were torn. Wumuya's tribe treated them like animals. My tribe, no matter how you look at it, seems like a gathering place for a bunch of lunatics. Just as a few of them were hesitating. I'll join. Chief Yi Yan, I'll join too. The rest of the tribesmen, no longer caring about the consequences, rushed towards me, scrambling to bow in submission. The others were dumbfounded. Didn't we agree to face life and death together, to advance and retreat as one? There was no time to hesitate. They immediately followed, rushing over as well, scrambling over each other. Chief Yi Yan. Chief, from now on, you'll be our chief. Chief, please take us in. We were wrong to doubt you before. Please, forgive us. Nearly 10 tribesmen rushed over and prostrated themselves fully. Ding. Congratulations, host, for gaining 1 tribesman. You have received 10 patriarchal clan contribution points. Ding. Congratulations, host, for gaining 1 tribesman. You have received 10 patriarchal clan contribution points. Congratulations, host, for gaining 1 tribesman. You have received 10 patriarchal clan contribution points. The host previously had 135 contribution points. 9 system messages chimed one after another in my head. That's 90 contribution points. And just like that, they're here. Chief. The grilled fish. Is there any left? A tribesman asked cautiously from the side. I saw the longing in their eyes and let out a laugh. Wumu ha, Wumu li, Wumu fa. Quick, hand out the grilled fish to our new tribe members. Let them see just what a brilliant decision they've made. Yes, Chief Yi Yan. Wow, so this is grilled fish. Grilled fish, made by desecrating the sacred flame. The tribesmen's eyes lit up as they stared at the fish in their hands. They ate until their mouths were slick with oil, stumbling about in delight. It was so good they felt like they could fly. Meanwhile, Wumu Fa stood in a corner, holding his grilled fish. A complicated look on his face. I never thought that it would come to this. To survive, we would stoop to desecrating the gods. He certainly has some skill to be able to make something like this. But he's also completely insane. Wumu Fa sighed, looked up at the sky, and took a bite of the grilled fish. He only joined my tribe because he had no other choice. Being older, he's seen more of the world. He wasn't going to be won over by a piece of grilled fish. If he could, he would rather eat berries for the rest of his life than this sacrilegious food. When will my cultivation finally reach the next level? If only my training had borne fruit sooner. Then, when my strength has grown, I'll lead our people away from this sacrilegious tribe of crazies. Umu Fa sighed and settled into his cultivation stance. Detected. Host's tribe has reached a population of 10. Unlocking. Orthodox patriarchal clan cultivation system. In this world, only the cultivation methods for women have survived. When women cultivate, their progress is incredibly fast. It's extremely easy for them. But if a man tries to cultivate using the women's method, he can barely make any progress. At the very least, it's easy to suffer a cultivation deviation. In severe cases, your body can easily explode and you will die. The orthodox cultivation system and techniques of a patriarchal clan have been automatically inscribed into the host's mind. The host can begin cultivating at any time. As the system's voice rang out, I had already noticed this clansman, Wumufa, who was the oldest and most respected. Among the men of the tribe, the one with the highest cultivation talent, aside from myself, was him, but he was restricted by the women's cultivation methods. His realm has long struggled to advance, and he has nearly died several times from losing control of his power. It's pure luck that he's still alive today. At this moment, the orthodox cultivation method meant for men was ingrained in my mind, and I understood. If I could make Wumufa completely loyal to me, the new clansmen who respect him like a brother or a father would naturally become more steadfast. According to the system, the initial cultivation realm has 9 levels. The difference lies in the significant disparity in strength. A male clansman who hasn't begun cultivating has normal strength. Wumufa, at the first realm, has his strength increased by 1 to 2 times. Most female clans women are at the 2nd level, which is more than double that again. Wumuya is even at the 4th realm. It continues like this all the way to the 9th realm. Anything higher are realms the system imprinted in my mind that I've never seen before. Talent is determined by one's innate chi and blood. I was surprised to discover that among everyone, male or female, my innate chi and blood were the most abundant. I was leading by a large margin. After me was Wumuya, then came several talented female clans women, and only after them was Wumufa. And then Wumuha from the younger generation, whose innate chi and blood are also quite good. When I first cultivated according to the orthodox method, the blood in my body surged rapidly, and my whole body grew slightly warm. In just a moment, I had already stepped into the 1st realm, the realm Wumufa had struggled for over 10 years to reach using the wrong method. You're still stuck at the 1st realm, aren't you? I walked over to Wumufa, who was sitting in the corner, and said lightly, I know what you're doing. And not only do I know that, I also know that you've lost control of your power many times and almost lost your life. I also know that you've been stuck in the first realm for a very, very long time. I glanced at him. Don't you realize? Everything you're doing right now is a complete waste of effort. Wumufa was stunned. Most of the men in the tribe have extremely weak cultivation talent and know very little about the practice. Only someone like him, with some semblance of talent, would be taught some methods by the elders. But he never expected that I would also know. How did you know I'm stuck at the first realm? Wumufa looked at me, feeling as if he couldn't see through me at all. Stop cultivating like this. The methods that have been passed down, the ones the clan elders taught you, are all cultivation techniques suitable for women, unless you get rid of your manhood. Otherwise, no matter how much you cultivate, you will never achieve any results. You'll also easily lose control of your power, and your body will explode, killing you. You have a solution? Wumufa asked tentatively. Yi Yan, it's not that I'm being narrow-minded, and don't blame me for being blunt, but I think this whole business with catching fish, and this so-called divine fire, is just a cheap stunt to get attention, and establishing a patriarchal clan is completely impossible. Since your time, since before I was even born, women have been the rulers of humanity in this world. How old are you? How dare you think you can replace them just by pulling a few cheap stunts? Wumufa said, looking me right in the eye. Of course, you don't have to believe me, but if you continue to cultivate this way, your body will be like a single leaf in the ocean. Even if you aren't swallowed by the waves right away, it's only a matter of time. Now, sit down. Cultivation. I can tell you exactly how you should do it. I sat cross-legged, facing Wumufa. I began to cultivate according to the method imprinted on my mind by the system. What did you say? You're going to tell me how to cultivate? Wumufa's face was filled with shock and disbelief. He sized me up. He'd never seen me cultivate before. Even with the greatest talent, it would be impossible for me to guide him. Haha, Yi Yan, you're just a little kid after all. I originally thought you might actually have some skills. But now it seems to me you've probably just learned some unorthodox methods from who knows where. If you were just fooling those youngsters like Wumuha, Wumuli, or Wumula, that would be one thing. They're just trying to get by. At the end of the day, everyone gets what they want. But you, no matter what, should not be using your petty tricks to fool me. When we were in the tribe, I never once saw you cultivate. And now you have the nerve to say you're going to guide my cultivation? Don't you find that ridiculous? Wumufa laughed and shook his head, not planning to say any more. He held his breath, focused his mind, and began to circulate his chi and blood. The tribe has its rules. Once someone begins to cultivate, no one is allowed to disturb them. Otherwise, it's a fight to the death. I looked at the Wumufa before me, shook my head and sighed. This old guy is really something else. He's spent half his life practicing a woman's method without any real results, and on top of that, he could easily suffer a cultivation deviation and die from his body exploding. A complete waste of a life. He entered a state of cultivation and ignored me, but his senses of hearing and touch were still active. I didn't say anything more. I directly used my finger, following the method given by the system, and poked a certain acupoint on Wumufa's body. The flow of his chi and blood was instantly blocked. Wumufa's entire body turned visibly red. He was instantly enraged. Cultivation is already prone to deviation. Being disturbed makes death extremely likely. That's why the tribe established the rule not to disturb anyone. Yet I actually interfered with him at this moment. Wasn't this a clear attempt on his life? He clenched his fists tightly. Veins bulged on his skin. If he weren't unable to stop until his chi and blood circulation was complete, he would have wanted to beat me to death on the spot. Wumufa, I'll say it again, your cultivation method is wrong. I'm only pointing this out to you because I see you're highly respected by the new members of the tribe. No matter what, I will only teach you this one time. If you fail to remember it this time, then in the future, even if you beg me to teach you, I won't reveal another shred of it to you. I didn't care what Wumufa was thinking. I began to follow the orthodox cultivation method, using acupoint strikes to forcibly change the direction of his chi and blood, switching from the woman's method to the man's method. Wumufa, who had been enraged, felt the flow of chi and blood in his body gradually change, becoming more and more wondrous. His rage slowly turned to confusion. What is this kid doing? His body felt as if it were no longer his own, refusing to obey his commands. Instead, it flowed in the direction my fingers pressed, and the speed was even increasing. Wumufa was shocked. He was completely unable to stop my guidance. He could only do his best to keep his chi and blood from running amok. I brought 2 fingers together and tapped again and again on his body. Although his talent was the best among the male members of the tribe, there was still a gap compared to the women. Even after changing the method, he could probably only reach about the second realm. My finger pressed down on the final acupoint. Wumufa's chi and blood finally circulated along the correct path one time. If he could remember it, he could say goodbye to the plight of struggling on the edge of life and death every day. If he couldn't remember, that was none of my business. I let out a long breath. I opened my eyes, only to see that the look in Wumufa's eyes had changed. What did you do to me? Why is it that as soon as your fingers touch my body, my chi and blood no longer obey me? Wumufa felt the changes in his body, a delayed sense of fear creeping into his heart. If the flow of chi and blood is blocked, it can be fatal. In other words, I could have just killed him. I told you, there's a problem with your cultivation method, so I used a pressure point technique to adjust it for you. Did you feel the direction of your energy flow change? I said calmly, the flow of chi and blood. The method changed? How is that possible? You merely touched my body. Wumufa's face was full of shock and uncertainty as he felt the flow of his own energy. There was still some residual energy from his cultivation that hadn't fully circulated through his body. The moment he felt it, he was stunned. The speed of his energy flow was several times faster than normal. Not only was the speed greater, but the circulation was also quicker. He subconsciously tried to desperately memorize the new path his energy was taking, but the last bit of residual energy vanished. Before he could memorize it all. Unbelievable, it really did get faster. How is that possible? Wumufa realized that this young man had truly seen through his entire energy flow with just a single glance, and had instantly used a pressure point technique to modify it, increasing its speed several times over. Wumufa was completely dumbfounded. Following that, a deep sense of fear surged within him. He snapped his head up to look at me. His pupils quaked, and cold sweat dripped down his face. His years of experience made him the proud leader among the men of his tribe, but at this moment, he was alarmed to find he could no longer understand this young man. How is this possible? I've been cultivating for over a decade. How could I possibly be inferior to a junior like you? Hey, Wumufa, nothing is impossible. Now that you've come to my tribe, you must submit to me from the bottom of your heart. Respect me as your chieftain, and I, in turn, will lead you to establish a powerful patriarchal society. When that time comes, I will grind all the women who look down on me under my heel. All you need to do is offer me your help and become the cornerstone for the patriarchal society I will build. I casually dusted off the dirt from my clothes, stood up, and looked down on him. How did I do it? With my great system, of course. Ha 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 ha. What? You're not just spouting nonsense because you went mad from the shock of being exiled, are you? You can't actually be planning to form your own tribe and make men's status superior to women's? Wumufa's eyes were filled with horror. What do you mean, men's status superior to women's? In this world, the weak are meat and the strong do eat. The powerful are the ones who are respected. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, the stronger side has the right to speak. Because I have a way to make you all play a greater role than the women of this era, the tribe we establish will be called a patriarchal clan tribe. A proud smile spread across my face. Wumufa, do you understand now? Choosing to submit to me isn't some temporary measure for you to catch your breath. It is the only choice you must make. I know you still have your pride. However, Wumu, whenever you are truly willing to submit to me, I will elevate your energy flow to an even higher level. After I finished speaking, I pretended to turn and leave. Chieftain Yi Yan, I am willing to acknowledge you as the chieftain of the tribe. I hadn't even fully turned around when I heard a thud from behind me. I looked back to see Wu Mufa prostrating himself. Clan leader Yi Yan, I, Wu Mufa, am indebted to your kindness. Your guidance today has truly opened my eyes. I was shallow in the past. From now on, I will sincerely accept you as the clan leader. Henceforth, I, Wu Mufa, am at your command. He pressed his head heavily against the ground, filled with regret. If he hadn't rushed to stop the flow of his chi and blood during cultivation, perhaps he could have memorized the new path. His cultivation speed would increase exponentially. But alas, there are no what-ifs in this world. Seeing his sincere and earnest expression, a smile crept onto my face. Very good, another one successfully recruited. Congratulations, host, for recruiting another clansman. Patriarchal clan contribution +1. Wu Mufa, go bring the other clansmen who know about cultivation. I will teach you men the correct method of cultivation. And you will be responsible for teaching them the method I give you. Understood? Wu Mufa was overjoyed. This is wonderful. Clan leader, I'll go get the ones in the clan with some talent for cultivation right away. They will be eternally grateful to you. He scrambled up from the ground excitedly and left. He understood what a correct cultivation method meant. If the young men of the clan learned it, then in the future, even without food, at least they wouldn't be treated like animals and monkeys by the women. By the campfire, Wu Mufa had brought 3 or 4 clansmen who had a decent aptitude for cultivation. Wu Mufa sat cross-legged and began to cultivate. The young clansmen gathered to watch, while the rest of the tribe looked on from a distance. What is clan leader Yi Yan doing? They say he's going to teach Wu Mufa how to cultivate. Cultivation? Isn't that something only people with talent can do? I've never even seen clan leader Yi Yan cultivate. Why would Wu Mufa be willing to let him be his guide? Cultivation isn't a game. If you do it wrong, your body could explode and you die. Several clansmen whispered among themselves. You lot, listen up and watch carefully. Clan leader Yi Yan is going to personally guide our cultivation. As long as we follow clan leader Yi Yan's method, our cultivation speed can be just as fast as the women's. Wu Mufa said in a low voice as he sat cross-legged. The moment he spoke, the air froze. Uncle Wu Mufa, you okay? How can our cultivation speed as men ever be faster than the women's? That's impossible. Stop joking around. The women only need 1 day of cultivation to become much faster than us after several days. I know clan leader Yi Yan is amazing. He can catch fish, and he can start a divine fire. He can even make delicious grilled fish. I admit, he's really incredible. But no matter how incredible he is, there's no way he can surpass the women in cultivation. We have to struggle on the verge of life and death when we cultivate, risking chi deviation. And our bodies exploding, all for barely any improvement in our cultivation. But the women, all they have to do is cultivate a little in their sleep, and their energy is restored. And their cultivation level increases. How can we possibly compare to them? The young clansmen threw up their hands in resignation. Although they had some talent, they didn't train as arduously as Wu Mufa. Besides, they couldn't beat the women and were always prone to chi deviation. What's the point? The onlookers deeply agreed. That's right, no matter how amazing clan leader Yi Yan is, it's impossible for him to surpass the women in cultivation. The women are just too terrifying. I heard they only need to cultivate casually for a few days to surpass a whole month of hard work from his men. Right, it's so unfair. Wu Mufa couldn't take it anymore and was just about to stand up and speak. But I pushed him back down. It doesn't matter if they don't believe. They'll believe soon enough. For now, you just stay here quietly and circulate your chi and blood. I will guide you. Yes, clan leader Yayan. Wu Mufa was overjoyed. He sat cross-legged and began to circulate his chi and blood. I tapped the same acupoints on his body again, in the same order as before. Only this time, I was much slower and my force was much more deliberate, so that he could remember the direction of the chi flow. Uncle Wu Mufa actually dared to let clan leader Yayan guide his cultivation? He's crazy. He must be crazy. This is different from catching and roasting fish. If something goes wrong with cultivation, it can kill you. How could Uncle Wu Mufa agree to this? The clan members were terrified, until, under my guidance, the circulation of Wu Mufa's chi and blood rapidly accelerated. The pathways grew wider and more stable. Finally, the chi and blood that had been stagnant for over 10 years surged forth. His realm advanced. The second realm. Wu Mufa let out a long cry, his entire body feeling unobstructed. I've actually reached the second realm? He stared at his own palms with a look of astonishment and shouted loudly. The air fell silent. It's not that only women can cultivate to the second realm and beyond. It's that your cultivation methods are completely wrong. I can tell you what the correct cultivation method is. If you cultivate according to my method, your realm will be able to steadily improve. It's that simple. I finished guiding Wu Mufa, and said calmly, the cultivation method imprinted in my mind by the system can greatly increase the speed for men. But I'm afraid they won't be able to understand the principles. After being guided once, they can remember the feeling of the chi and blood flow. But the direction will change, and they'll eventually forget if they rely on feeling alone. First, I must raise the strength of the clansmen, so we have the power to fight that woman Wumuya and her female subordinates. I came back to my senses and scanned my surroundings. only to find it was unusually quiet. That's not right. Usually, when something like this happens, someone would have jumped out in shock by now. Why is there still no sound? How is this possible? Suddenly, a strained voice was heard. The expressions on the faces of the clan members all became extremely grim. How is this possible? I've never heard of a man being able to cultivate to the second realm. Men can only cultivate to the first realm. Clan leader Yeon, who in the world are you? First, it was catching fish, and then the divine fire. And now it's cultivation. Why are you able to do such heretical things? The clan members' expressions were filled with fear and unease. The common sense and rules of their worldview were being dismantled by me, piece by piece. They didn't even dare to breathe heavily. They lowered their heads, not daring to look at me, because in their eyes, my figure increasingly resembled a blasphemous monster. Breathe deeply. Feeling dizzy is normal, but you should save your fear for later. There will be plenty for you to be afraid of in the future. Only those who can accept these things can become members of the patriarchal clan society I will build. I said calmly, these primitive people are just sheltered. It's perfectly normal. Their world has too many prohibitions and restraints. The correct things I do will all be seen as heretical in their eyes. Uncle Wumufa, he really reached the second realm? He reached the second realm just like that? Uncle Wumufa, who has cultivated bitterly for over a decade and struggled on the line between life and death for so many years. He actually reached the second realm. That's the legendary second realm. That's a realm only women were supposed to be able to reach. I can't believe Yi Yan actually helped Uncle Wumufa achieve it. Chief Yi Yan, he actually did it. Gasps of amazement and disbelief echoed in my ears. Good heavens, our chief, Yi Yan, is truly all-powerful. He can't just catch and grill fish. He can even sacrilegiously alter the cultivation methods. And those were passed down by the great ancestress. Chief Yi Yan changes things with a single word. Even the original trio, who were my biggest supporters, had looks of utter shock. They must feel that no matter what, I can always find new ways to shock them. The great ancestress will surely punish him for this. Great ancestress, please protect us. Please don't punish Chief Yi Yan. He's truly a good person. He even grilled fish for us, and it was so delicious. He's only changing the cultivation method for Uncle Wumufa, and no one else. Just Uncle Wumufa, so please, great ancestress, forgive him. Wumuha, Wumuli, and Wumula were praying devoutly to the great ancestress. Their reasoning was that I would only change the method for Wumufa. All tribe members who have ever cultivated, come here. Wumufa has already memorized the path for the flow of chi and blood that I just guided him through. Next, he will guide all of your chi and blood flows to the correct path. In other words, he will teach all of you the cultivation method that was modified for him. A single sentence from me, spoken from a distance, struck the original trio, who had just been praying for me, like a bolt from the blue. Chief Yi Yan actually wants us to learn the new cultivation method too? Does that mean we can also be like Uncle Wumufa and enter the next realm? How could that be possible? Is it possible that the cultivation method Chief Yi Yan taught Uncle Wumufa can be used by all of us? The crowd was in an uproar. That's right, this cultivation method is the one Chief Yi Yan has taught us. All men can cultivate with it, and what's more, cultivating with this method, your progress will be just as fast, if not faster, than the women of our tribe. As long as you train hard, with time, you will definitely surpass the women who once looked at us as if we were livestock. Wumufa stabilized his chi and blood after his breakthrough. He opened his eyes, rose from the ground, and roared at his fellow tribesmen. At this moment, Wumufa's eyes were full of life, as if a fire was burning within them. Then I want to learn, too. Chief Yi Yan is so amazing. After I learn this cultivation method, will I stop being called a male ape, Chief Yi Yan? I want to cultivate, too. I don't want to be looked at by the women like a piece of garbage anymore. Me too. I'm going to train with everything I've got, and take back all the dignity we've lost. The crowd was in a fervent uproar. Their cheers nearly tore through the sky. I nodded my head, my fists clenched. I have to raise the cultivation level of my tribesmen as quickly as possible. And then, I'll immediately start planning to reclaim the Wumuya tribe. I still haven't forgotten the humiliation of being driven out. The riverbank, the Wumuya tribe. Inside a cave, a woman with an ice-cold expression sat, a beast tooth necklace adorning her fair ankle. The beautiful woman was sitting on a stone, surrounded by a group of female tribe members. It was none other than the tribe's chief, Wumuya. Chief, The men in the cave in the southwest corner are gone. They're all dead. Good that they're dead. They couldn't even gather food properly. All they did was consume our rations. It's for the best that they're all dead. Good riddance if they're dead, Wu Mu Ya said with a cold look. The female clan member looked conflicted, lowering her head as she spoke. No, chieftain, they aren't dead, they've just left the cave. Wu Mu Ya frowned. It's the peak of the hot season. Berries and wild vegetables are already scarce, and our tribe has gathered most of them. Those male monkeys can't find any food, so why aren't they staying in the cave? Are they in a hurry to die? It's scorching hot, they couldn't have gone far without food. They must be nearby. Send another group of the stronger male monkeys to find them. Send Team 3. What if they left because they found another berry patch or more edible greens? If they really did, just snatch it from that bunch of scrawny male monkeys. A faint smile touched Wu Mu Ya's lips as she uncrossed and recrossed her legs. Her beast-tooth anklet clinked, accentuating her confident, elegant, and noble demeanor. Meanwhile, over at the side of the cave, Wu Mu Zi overheard that Team 3 was being sent to find me, and a flash of anxiety crossed her eyes. It was another bright and clear day, and I had just woken up in my shelter. There are no natural caves where we are, so we can only build shelters. Our numbers have been growing these past few days, so we're building more and more shelters. All our resources and manpower are being used to build these temporary shelters, so we haven't had the time to build proper, sturdy housing yet. We're starting from scratch, but at least we have the people. We also have fish as a food source. Once the sturdy shelters are built and the tribe is stable, we can focus on developing our production. The problem is, I still don't know how to build sturdy shelters. The members who've joined me so far are all men from Team 4 of the old tribe, and they aren't skilled at construction. Before we left Wu Mu Ya's tribe, there were 4 teams of men. Each team had about 10 men, and Team 3 was the one most skilled at building shelters. They had a higher status in the tribe, even though we were all treated like male monkeys. But even among the monkeys, there was a pecking order, and our Team 4 was at the very bottom. Ding, keyword detected. The system has now found an item for the host in the contribution point shop. Shelter builder. As long as the host gathers the necessary materials for building a shelter, you can use the shelter builder to construct shelters with good privacy and strong security that are sturdy and stable. Item price, 100 contribution points. Does the host wish to make the exchange? I was overjoyed. With a single thought, I confirmed. Congratulations, host. Purchase successful. When the host uses the shelter builder, it will automatically construct the shelter for you. Yi Ji. A girl's voice called out from a short distance away. It was Wu Mu Zi, running towards me and panting for breath. Yi Yan Ji. Chieftain Wu Mu Ya found out the men have left the tribe. She thinks it's because you found a berry patch and new edible vegetables. Now she's sent the men from Team 3 to come and snatch them away. Yi Yan Ji. You have to take the fish and run. If they get stolen, we're done for, she said anxiously, gasping for air. I looked at her, a strange expression on my face. Wu Mu Zi, which team did you say? Team 3. What is it? I suddenly chuckled. Team 3. Isn't that the group of men who are skilled at building shelters? Their timing is just perfect. With them here, the speed of collecting building materials will certainly go up a notch. This is just what I needed. I was just worried they wouldn't show up. Don't worry, Wu Muzzy, I'll be fine. They can't do a thing to me. Are you kidding? The 3rd squad eats much better than your 4th squad. At least they have rice to eat. Plus, they have Wu Muya backing them up. Your fish alone aren't enough to sway them. They'll just steal all your fish and take them back to clan leader Wu Muya. Brother Yi Yan, you have to run. Wu Muzzy was frantic. She begged me to leave. She thought that just because I'd caught some fish, I could stand up to Wu Muya, but Wu Muya is in the 4th realm. She has countless loyal clan members under her command. It's impossible to fight back. The more she thought about it, the more anxious she got, her eyes welling up. But I just patted her head again and said lightly, "Hey, don't worry, I have my own way of handling this. Besides, even if the fish get stolen, it's no big deal. I have more than enough skill to survive. Stop worrying about me, just wait and see. I'm feeling confident now. I have the shelter builder. In this world, a strong shelter is the cornerstone of a tribe's power. The stronger it is, the easier it is to protect our food and our people. As long as I can build the shelter and get the fish inside, the 3rd squad won't be able to take a single scale." Clan leader Wu Muya is definitely going to punish me. She told me not to come looking for you. I'm going to be punished. Wu Muzzy looked at me resentfully, her face full of frustration that I wasn't taking her seriously. I just laughed out loud. That's alright, you can just say that Yi Yan forced you to come. When we returned to the shelter, Wu Muchai was following behind us. She claimed she was worried I'd failed to back up my big talk and wanted to help. I was actually happy to let her come see the tribe. I need wood and sand. And stones. As many as you can possibly find. Wu Muha, Wu Muli, Wu Mula, the three of you will be in charge of leading the clan members. Remember, you have to be fast. The third squad is coming to steal our fish, and I need you to find these materials. To build a shelter to protect our food, you must move as fast as you possibly can. Otherwise, every single fish that Witch Wu Muya manages to steal will be a loss for us. Yes, clan leader Yi Yan. All the clan members shouted in unison. Their fourth squad had the lowest status in the tribe. They had suffered endless scorn and injustice. Now, they had finally found a place to rest and recover. For Wu Muya to try and steal their food now, this was the last straw. Clan leader Yi Yan, I've already set up the sentry post at the tribe's entrance, just as you instructed. As soon as anyone from their tribe arrives, we'll immediately blow the whistle to signal you and hold them off. Wu Mufa's deep voice rang out. I looked at him and nodded. After yesterday's training session, I assigned him and a few other young clan members to the guard team. I didn't expect them to finish setting up the sentry post in just one night. In the past, the women in the tribe didn't care about the sentry posts. A single post would take several days to complete. Wu Mufa built it in a single day. The sentry posts in the clan were usually built and manned by the female members. It's a shame I was never allowed to participate in building the posts before, so I'm a little rusty. Otherwise, it could have been even faster. Wu Mufa lowered his head in shame. It's already very good, I waved my hand. Chief Yi Yan, I'm afraid it will take several days to get the wood. We're afraid we might not be able to make it in time, came the voice of a young tribesman. It's true, Wu Muya's tribe isn't that far from ours. They'll probably be here soon. And we have to gather building materials. And also build the shelters. Can we really make it in time? The tribesmen were getting worried. Haha, my fellow tribesmen, don't worry. You have joined my tribe. As your chief, it's my duty to pave the way for you. I've already prepared tools for you. They will absolutely let you do twice the work with half the effort. I smirked. Ting, host's brainwaves detected. Felling trees, shoveling dirt, and breaking rocks. Items have been collected for the host accordingly. Axes, shovels. Each tool requires 5 contribution points to exchange. Estimating the number of tools for the host. Ding. Estimation complete. The host requires saws, 3 of each, for a total of 45 contribution points. The host currently has 95 contribution points remaining. Does the host wish to exchange? With a thought, the exchange was successful. And hammers, 3 of each. They have been automatically generated nearby for the host. Chief Yi Yan, are the tools you mentioned stones? That's what we mean, we can't make it in time even with stones. Not even with very sharp ones. It takes 2 people half a day just to chop down 1 tree. For the dirt and gravel, we can only use our hands. How could we possibly do twice the work with half the effort? The tribesmen were completely baffled. You guys, why won't you just believe what I say? If you don't believe me, turn your heads and see what those things over there are. Someone turned to look. Not far away, a pile of strangely shaped, incredibly sharp tools lay quietly to one side. The moment the tribesmen saw them, they knew they were sharper than the sharpest stones they had ever used. Chief, what are these? The tribesmen had never seen tools like these, with sharp stones attached to long wooden handles. The stones at the end even reflected the sunlight. They're definitely sharper than any stone. They're called an axe, a shovel, and a hammer. I said calmly, the things on the end aren't some kind of sharp stone. They're iron, they're metal. For example, that hammer can easily shatter the hardest rocks. You must be careful when you use them. One little slip up, and you'll be bleeding and injured. The tribesmen all looked bewildered. Metal, I didn't say any more. I walked straight over, picked up a hammer, and got into position in front of a stubborn rock jutting out from the ground. Is Chief Yi Yan going to smash this rock? That thing's a real old, stubborn stone. We've tripped over it so many times and wanted to move it out of the way. But it was no use, the rock is just too hard. No kind of stone hammer could break it. The tribespeople gasped, surely the hammer that Chief Yi Yan was talking about can actually break this rock? Even if it's really as surprising as Chief Yi Yan said, it could probably only barely break it. That rock is the hardest stone I've ever seen. The hammer fell. Bang! A loud shattering crack. Everyone jumped at the sound, their eyes wide. That so-called hardest, most stubborn stone had already shattered into countless smaller rocks. Watching the scene unfold, the tribespeople's hearts skipped a beat for a moment. That bright, gleaming hammer was completely undamaged, while the stubborn rock was already shattered. They shuddered to think what would happen if that hammer hit them. Their bones would be smashed to bits. Then they turned to look at the axes and shovels scattered on the ground, and the cold glint of their blades. A cold shiver ran down their spines. This is a demonstration. The way to use these tools is similar to an ordinary sharp stone, but when you do, you must be careful not to injure yourselves. Do you understand?